in compactness, where where Ebelechi Eze cannot operate, you need Martin Odegaard to come in through and obviously do the needful. And that shows you how big the squad of Arsenal is in here onto our beautiful channel known as the Rokani Media Football. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Arsenal are really cruising on the top of the Premier League table once again and going ahead to obviously exert more pressure to the people like people like Man City. After Man City won yesterday, obviously Arsenal had to come and obviously make it through to see to it that they beat a team known as West Ham. And we all knew how hard this game was obviously gonna be. And I came up here and I told you that it is gonna be a slight win. Game of fine margins. 2-1 win for the club of Arsenal. That's what I called in for. But finally, they've gone ahead to make it through, and they've done it indeed. And that is the club of Arsenal coming in through thick and hard to see to it that they obviously win this beautiful game of football. And Leandro Trossard is the man. And let's see close to 300 likes much on this video, because this is really one of those emphatic wins that Arsenal's gonna hit to bargain. And I tell you what, it is really very important for everyone who knows that City scored 3 goals yesterday, and they went ahead to obviously close down the goal difference between them and Arsenal. You need to eat that draw wouldn't carry any sense. Let's all admit that draw wouldn't carry any sense for the club of Arsenal, because pressure would have gone ahead to be piled onto them a lot as the club of Arsenal. So all what I want to let you know is that it is what it is. It is what it is, and it has gone to the side of Arsenal. They've gone ahead to come up and obviously won this beautiful game of football. And I tell you what, it is really great. Now, Jamie Carragher, after Arsenal went ahead to beat Atletico Madrid, came up and obviously told us that indeed this is an important win, but the win against a team known as West Ham has huge impact. And I'm trying to obviously look out onto, because Arsenal played on Tuesday, right? So let me get there. I want to read the exact words of this guy. And that was a man known as Jamie Carragher, because he came up and really told us that if Arsenal go ahead and obviously win the game of West Ham, they've gone ahead to win the league. Now, in these words put out by this guy, they best describe what it means to get these 3 points. Indeed, these 3 points have been very pivotal. They've been very sounding, and indeed, they've gone ahead to come in through. I'm just looking in for those words coming in through from the man himself, known as I want to quote him right, because I'm this kind of person that does not obviously come out and really put words into someone's mouth. Instead, I want to come up and really tell you exactly how he obviously brought it, because this game has been one of those that everyone was afraid of, and no one was obviously going to be stopping this side of Arsenal. No one. I tell you, no one. And as I predicted at the beginning of the season that Arsenal is obviously going to be walking out with this trophy, indeed, they've gone ahead to walk away with this trophy. And the reason why they're losing to Burnley at Emirates, and the reason why they're losing out to, what is Arsenal's last game? Let me check here. Palace away. Arsenal is going to win all these games, I tell you. You might be one of the haters, but for me, I would love to see Arsenal come up and obviously win this trophy. Why? I'm this kind of person who believes that when he really wins this, it will obviously give chance to other managers to be given time to build, meaning that he is one of those that is going to have to do it into this mainstream era that of all of us are really watching the game of football. So, looks like this is lost in. I'm not really seeing it. But all in all, the club of Arsenal has gone ahead to win this beautiful game of football. Lots of chances came in through in the first half through Arsenal, Leandro Trossard, but I think the biggest one was for a player known as Ricardo Carafiori. Oh my God. Carafiori, for me, went ahead to obviously miss out onto a sitter. Guys, Leandro Trossard has looked to be the great man in here for you, and everyone knew to it that everything positive for Arsenal was going to be rotating onto a player known as Leandro Trossard, because in this particular moment that I'm obviously going to be showing you, Leandro Trossard went ahead to release a player called Riccardo Carafiori, but Carafiori was a little bit selfish, I tell you, a little bit selfish, and all he needed was to go ahead and really pass into that ball into a player known as, was it Victor Gyökeres, right? Because look at this moment. Look at this moment. It's one of those moments that I felt like, what is this dude doing, man? You know, what is this dude doing? Because he would have gone ahead to do more better. All right, let me flaunt it there. I want to show you this. Yeah, this is the perfect frame that you guys will obviously see this. Now, look at this. Leandro Trossard goes ahead to release him, and this was the 8th minute of the game. You know, he has a pass. If he does this pass to here, Gyökeres just meets it and taps that ball in the back of the net. You understand? Gyökeres just meets it and taps it in the back of the net. But guess what he does? You know, he goes in for a selfish interest, and he ended up shooting this ball over the bar. Okay, let me check here. So he ends up shooting this ball over the bar. To me, that was really selfish, but that composure a little bit in there. He made a very beautiful run. I give him credit for that. What a run that he made in there. But he went ahead to obviously wash and line up his clothes into the dirt, because this moment was really very, very, very important in there for you. And I tell you, if you look at this, if you look at that, look at it, look at it. Very, very good chance. And he went ahead to use his outside of the boot to try to curl it in here, but it couldn't obviously go there. But what would have gone ahead to be the simplest pass? Just lay the ball here, you know, let Gyökeres run and get an empty tap in. That was it. And that was exactly what the lad had to do. But I understand. Moments like this come with pressure, let's all admit. Moments like these come with pressure in this beautiful game of football. And if they come up with pressure, it's very, very hard for a player like Riccardo Carafiori, who has, for his for the apex of his career, played for Arsenal, a team that hasn't gone ahead obviously win trophies for some time, and expect him to obviously come and really be composed. I tell you, if it was a player like let me see. If it was Martin Odegaard, he lays it there. Eze, I do think also gives out a pass to that guy. I don't think Bukayo Saka could. Saka could have gone ahead to shoot, though he could surprise you and obviously doesn't shoot and obviously go in for that effort in there. So that guy is really one of the reasons as to why Arsenal never took an early lead, and that was one of the beautiful moments that I really found out into this particular game of football. I really loved this, and I was like, oh my, Mr. Riccardo Carafiori, what a chance have you gone ahead to put to West. And Arsenal went ahead to really trail again, to obviously look out for goal. Many chances coming through, and there was this one too where Leandro Trossard, guys, I've told you that this game rotated so much on Leandro Trossard. The first line-breaking pass to Riccardo Carafiori that I was going ahead to show you, obviously went ahead to coming through a guy known as Leandro Trossard. Now, even this crossbar, nice, well-brought-in corner by Declan Rice, was obviously denied by the woodwork, as you see there. So, they were all over the place. Leandro Trossard again, missing out onto the target by the crossbar. So, you see, all game-defining moments in as far as the attacking side of Arsenal were concerned were all onto Leandro Trossard. And indeed, at the end of it all, he went ahead to obviously give Arsenal that beautiful goal that they really deserved in there for you. And obviously, even Gabriel did something great in there for you, but there are moments that you'll never obviously forget when you're discussing about this beautiful game of football. And we can talk till kingdom come, but the most important bit of it all is that Arsenal has gone ahead to collect 3 points from this beautiful encounter. Now, let's obviously head to the game, and the manager went ahead to see Ben White get an injury, and he took him off. And when he took him off, I think that was the first mistake that Mikel Arteta went ahead to make. For a man that has been running out of steam towards the end of the season, I'm talking about Ben White, right? There is no way you obviously bring him onto the field of Zubimendi. There is no way you bring Zubimendi on the field of play. I tell you. There is no way you bring him on the field of play, I tell you. Why? You know to it that he's running out of steam and this game is of high intensity. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Get on Mosquera and first leave Declan Rice and Lewis Kelly in the midfield, for the next 45 minutes and see how things go on. Because when Declan Rice was taken off, was taken out of the midfield, you saw how porous it was when Zubimendi came in through. And that's why the manager made 2 substitutions later and he took off Martin Zubimendi. To me, that doesn't really look good. That doesn't look good. And for my case, I think there is something that is really disturbing Martin Zubimendi. And these are off-field issues. You can't tell me that a player can drop up to that level. No way. No way. I think he's still working on some issues. Maybe he's having a sick. Maybe he's having a sick relative, right? What else can be not going on well for this guy? Maybe he's really having lots of things that are really not going well in his love affairs in there, because there is no specific explanation you can give to me that Zubimendi, a player who for almost 3/4 of the season looked like the man or the player of the season for Arsenal, in the last quarter he has gone ahead to drop up like that. No way. No way. You can't tell me that it's happening because of on-field issues. There is no way. Zubimendi is having problems. And I think Arsenal's dressing room is not leaking like a watering can. That's why we haven't obviously gone ahead to obviously get in such moments. But I know there is something that is not going on well for Martin Zubimendi. And that is really very, 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 very bad. But later, the manager realized it and brought on Mosquera onto the right back. And he went ahead to obviously take off Ricardo Carafiori, who had gifted a very big chance to the side of West Ham that forced a man known as David Raya to go ahead and obviously make a clean sheet a very big save into the first half that West Ham had not even gone ahead to obviously approach the goal. And that giveaway was really very stupid. And I think the manager was like, you don't do that, you don't do that. You understand? So, exactly. That moment was really very important, and the manager went ahead to obviously take off a player known as, what's his name? Ricardo Carafiori, because he gifted away that ball and he ended up giving a chance to Aaron Wan-Bissaka to run into space and put in a very beautiful cross that was headed, and the goalkeeper went ahead to obviously make a very big save. And this is the save that David Raya went ahead to make into that particular game. That is it. You see it? What's his name? You see it? That is the save that was made by David Raya in there for you. So it was really a big one, big save that came in through, and I was really impressed by David Raya in that moment. And that's not the only save that David Raya went ahead to pull out, and kudos to him for keeping his 18th clean sheet, 18 clean sheet. There was this one too. Todibo, coming in through and obviously almost came close to this. And there you go. You understand? So it was West Ham causing in havoc after havoc to the side of Arsenal. But David Raya went ahead to stand onto his feet and kept Arsenal into the game. And this is where the statement comes in through that goals win games, clean sheets win trophies. And you've gone ahead to see to it that the clean sheet that has gone ahead to be kept by David Raya, today has put him in a situation of really creating Arsenal a very huge chance to go ahead and obviously win the league. And ever since he came through the club of Arsenal, no goalkeeper in the Premier League has gone ahead to keep more clean sheets than him in the Premier League. And the previous 2 Golden Gloves have been going to him. And indeed today, I think he has gone ahead to grab another one for himself. 18 clean sheets for the side of Arsenal in there for you. And it's all about David Raya. Superb save when he's really doing the needful. Now, Arsenal went ahead to obviously attack, not until the 85th minute came up. And obviously, Martin Odegaard went ahead to do the needful. But before that Martin Odegaard, assist to Leandro Trossard to put it or bury it home, this guy known as Fernandes, who is on the ladder of very many Premier League teams, had this chance. 1v1, right? 1v1 against David Raya, And obviously, David Raya went ahead to close him well. He spread wide, and indeed, he put out a very wonderful save that kept Arsenal in the game. Because if this goal went ahead to cross the line and it counted, by the time Odegaard created that beautiful assist to a player known as Leandro Trossard, it wouldn't have gone ahead obviously make perfect sense. That is it. That's how Raya went ahead obviously close him down. And indeed, it was a moment that went ahead to define. And I think I'll obviously come up and obviously do you the 10 moments that defined Arsenal's 1-0 win in there for you. And if you remember the World Cup, there was a moment like this. And indeed, this was a World Cup winning moment, And if you look at that, this is Emiliano facing Randal Kolmouani in the dying minutes of the extra time when the game was 3-3 in Qatar. Kolmouani goes ahead to obviously get a 1v1, and we are like, it's in. And guess what? This guy called Emiliano Martinez Debo, goalkeeper of Aston Villa, spreads out wide and really stops it. And this is what David Raya went ahead to do, also to keep Arsenal in the game, because this moment was really hugely defining. It really gave a lot of meaning to the goal that a player known as Leandro Trossard went ahead to score in the 85th minute, where Martin Odegaard went ahead to do the needful. Now, Arsenal needs more players like Martin Odegaard. Let me tell you why. Players like Martin Odegaard are really unusual players. I want to let you know. They are really very, very unusual players. Why are they unusual players in what they do? Let me explain. They are unusual players in what they do because they do put up the unexpected. Martin Odegaard, after seeing that these other things of really passing left, right, and center have failed, he was like, now I need to risk it out. And how did he risk it out? He gets the ball. He starts holding it, plays in Declan Rice, and he makes a very beautiful run, and Rice reads it well, and it was quick passing. It was a double pass that went ahead to find Martin Odegaard in a very good space, and everyone thought that when he really dropped the shoulder to the left, he was obviously gonna shoot. He was obviously gonna come out and obviously shoot at goal. And everyone's thoughts, the defender, the goalkeeper, had prepared for a Martin Odegaard shot at goal. But guess what? He just went ahead to obviously use his swift left foot and really passed that ball to Leandro Trossard. and Leandro Trossard went ahead to bury that ball in the back of the net in a very, very beautiful moment in there for you to give Arsenal the lead in the 85th minute. That was really a game-defining moment, I tell you. That moment is obviously going to be spoken out here on several times, because it's known one of those that you can easily come up and say it never really meant a lot, because that goal went ahead to give Arsenal confidence and make West Ham understand that things have gone ahead to go from bad to worse, and the situation had gone ahead to obviously worsen. Now, guess what happens? In the added time, with 3 minutes left for this game to come to an end, guess what happens? West Ham goes ahead to gate a very, 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 very beautiful corner, you understand? And obviously, it was a goal supposed to go in, but Gabriel Magalhaes and Kai Havertz went ahead to obviously block that. You see, this is the block that was made. Havertz, first block, second block coming in through from Gabriel Magalhaes, and it went ahead to obviously gate into the corner kick. Now, when they got the corner kick, they went ahead to obviously fly it in. In the flight of this corner, it went ahead to cross the line, and West Ham players were like, it has gone ahead to cross the line. The goal line technology went ahead to confirm that indeed it has gone ahead to cross the line, and that was exactly a moment where things went bad from worse to worse, and everyone was like, who is bewitching Arsenal? Who is bewitching Arsenal? Because this is a game-defining moment, and when we were told that who is bewitching a team known as Arsenal, indeed, we were like, what is it? What is it? You know? And what so after that moment, a lot went ahead to happen. A lot went ahead to happen. And the referee pointed at the spots. After the referee pointed at the spots, Arsenal players went ahead to obviously gang around him. And they're like, our player was really pulled down. Guys, to show you that this was really very, 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 very game defining, it took 6 minutes for the VAR and the referee to come out and really say that it is no goal, you know. But there was a moment that wasn't seen, you know. There was a West Ham goalkeeper that went ahead obviously pulled the jersey of this guy. He placed his hand in here, right? And then there was someone else who was pulling him behind. And VAR had all those angles right. And then in the 99th minute, they were like, there is Todibo pulling the shirt, and there is another hand in here onto the hand of the goalkeeper known as David Raya. And guess what? It really went all to this guy. And the referee was like, it's no goal. And VAR were like, we are not going to be taking this decision. For us, what you're going to do is simple. We are going to call the referee to the side monitor to review it himself and then make a decision. Because if the VAR went ahead to cancel this goal, West Ham fans would have gone ahead to say, no way. VAR went ahead to obviously cheat us. Now, what they did was get in the referee onto what we call the side monitor to see exactly what happened in the due course of redelivering that ball. And when he saw everything, he was like, it is no goal, and Arsenal went ahead to obviously walk away with 3 points today from that particular encounter. What a way for Arsenal to come in through and really gate those 3 points. And they've gone ahead to obviously go again 5 points clear ahead of Man City. Remember, yesterday, Man City went ahead to beat a team known as Brentford by 3-0. You remember that very well. They went ahead to beat Brentford by 3-0. Now, after beating Brentford 3-0, guess what happened? They were like, pressure is piling up on the team of Arsenal. And Arsenal was like, all right, our big job is to get this done and dusted. And when we get it done and dusted, there is no way you'll obviously stop us. in there. So Arsenal has gone ahead to come in through, and they've played their 36th game of the Premier League season, and Arsenal has gone ahead to win. Arsenal has gone ahead to win 24. They've drawn 7. They've lost 5. 68 goals scored, 26 goals conceded, 42 as the goal difference, and 79. 79 is the point, are the points that Arsenal really having into this particular encounter. So that is Arsenal for you, and they are really doing it for fun, and they are really leading by example in this particular affair. That is the club known as Arsenal for you. Man City, who are seated second onto the Premier League table, 35 games, they've won 22 of those, they've drawn 8, 5 losses, 72 goals scored, 32 goals conceded, 40 is the goal difference, and 74 are the points that they are really having, meaning that in the midweek, Man City is going to be hosting Crystal Palace at the Etihad Stadium. And all what they have to do, if they win, they will be 77 points in there on the table, and they'll be 2 points behind Arsenal. That is it. Man United, yesterday, went ahead to draw away at Sunderland, and that game of football went ahead to receive United get to 65 points in there, and they've gone ahead to win 18. They've drawn 11, 7 losses, and 63 as the goal difference. 48. 48 goals conceded. With Man United has scored 60 goals, and 48 goals have been conceded, and they're having a goal difference of 12, and they're having a goal difference of 15 with 65 points. Liverpool closing in there for you after being beaten by Man United last weekend. 36 games with 59 points. Aston Villa, 36 games with 59 points in there. And Bournemouth is also trying to force its way in the Champions League, and they are 6th. They're having 55 points with 2 games to go. And this is where Arsenal fans love a lot. Now, next weekend, Bournemouth is looking at the Champions League place. Do you know that? Bournemouth is looking at the Champions League place, and they are left with 2 games. One game is against Man City. It's going to be played on Tuesday. You hear me out? On Tuesday next week, Bournemouth is going to be hosting Man City. To me, this was the game that I thought a team known as Man City would draw points. But they lost points to Everton, though I thought that Everton had all what it takes to see them really drop 2 or 3 points at their stadium. But this one of Bournemouth, I'm 100% sure, guys, City is not going to survive at Bournemouth. Now, City has to play at Bournemouth, then play on the weekend in the FA Cup, and after doing all that, we will see them come into the final and play against Aston Villa. You're right? So, as it stands here, Arsenal is still left with 2 fixtures, and those fixtures are Crystal Palace and Burnley. So, City has a chance to go 2 points in the region on the reach of Arsenal, or shy of Arsenal, if they win against Bournemouth. But I tell you, the best City can get from Bournemouth is a draw. That is it. If they ever win that game of football, I'm going to be one of those that is really very, very, very surprised. That is it. Because it's really going to be a hard one. I tell you. It's really going to be a high one in there for you. So, that is City for you, and Arsenal are going in thick and hard to obviously do the needful. So, Arsenal are up there in the sky. They've gone ahead to obviously win this game of football, and they are really celebrating left, right, and center for this. And what a way to obviously win. I told you last time that Arsenal are really having 4 games that are really defining up their season. And what were those games? 1, the game against Fulham was really very important. They needed to know on Monday who is winning against Everton. That was really very important. Then Arsenal had to come in the midweek to play away at Atletico Madrid. You get? Now, they coming through. Sorry, they first beat Newcastle. After beating Newcastle, Man City had to play on Monday. Now, last weekend, Arsenal beat Fulham. And City also went ahead to win. Now, after City went ahead to win, then we had to obviously see what Arsenal does in the midweek. They knocked out Atletico Madrid by 1-0. And yesterday, City played fast. They won their game by 3-0. Arsenal came up and were like, all right, we are going to win this one too. Now, the other game that Arsenal has to obviously be looking hugely at is the game of Bournemouth in there for you, because Bournemouth is fighting for the Champions League. And Bournemouth knows that this dream is really possible. Why is this dream possible? Because the team they're obviously competing with to see to either it drops out of that position is Aston Villa. You know, Aston Villa is left with, let me see, Villa. Now, Villa has 2 hard games. Villa has to host Liverpool on Friday. That is 15th Friday. And they have to go ahead and really play against City in the last game. Aston Villa, over all in the midweek, they really reached a very huge success. And in the UEFA Europa League, you know, they went ahead to obviously knock out a team known as Nottingham Forest. First leg, Nottingham beat them by 1-0. Second leg, Villa beat them by 4-0. And they are into the UEFA Europa League finale, right? So, if Aston Villa win the UEFA Europa League, you know what happens? They get straight into what we call the Champions League, right? And who are they playing? They are playing against Freiburg. Now, if you know Freiburg, there is no way Freiburg is obviously going to be coming to beat a team known as Aston Villa in the final. I know they are really doing great in the Bundesliga. You know, they are 7th. Now, I don't see a 7th placed team in the Bundesliga come in here and obviously beat a Premier League side. I don't see that happening. You know, when you look in their 11, you know, they don't have very many players, meaning that this manager is going to be resting his players in these remaining games, I tell you. He's going to be doing it. He knows exactly what to do. I think he has gone ahead to win very, very many, you know, UEFA Europa League finals. You know that very well. That is a man known as Unai Emery. So, to the experience he knows and to the experience he's playing at, he'll come up and really say, I'm going to do this. And what I'm obviously going to be doing? I'm going to come up and obviously do the needful. And what's the needful? I'm going to get a club known as Aston Villa, rest my players, and prepare them for the final. Meaning that Bournemouth has a very huge chance, hear me out, to really get there. Aston Villa is left with 2 games. They are playing Liverpool at home. This manager is not going to be risking his players when he's obviously going to be having a final to play, you know, in 10 days. You know, meaning that when they're playing against Aston Villa on Friday, he's going to rest his players. That is it. He's going to rest his players. And after that, they'll obviously got an outing of Man City when they're even celebrating for the trophy, and there is no reason they'll be fighting for any Premier League position because they'll be like, we've already gone ahead to go to the Champions League. Why stress ourselves? So that means that the club of Bournemouth, if they go ahead and they win, if Bournemouth goes ahead and really wins its games, there is no way they won't be there, because Bournemouth, when you look at the Premier League table as I've Premier League standings right now, Bournemouth is having 55 points. What is separating them is what we call their 4 points. And in the remaining 2 games, there are 6 points to fight for. I don't think that Villa will fight for those points. You know, I see Villa losing all those games, and Bournemouth can capitalize onto that and put out a very thunderous chase to see to it that they really get this side to where it deserves to be, and they result into winning this beautiful game of football. That is it. So if Bournemouth goes ahead to do that, I tell you, they're going to make City's time hard. And the game of Bournemouth and City comes in through before Liverpool plays against Aston Villa, meaning that Bournemouth will be like, we can change things around. We can turn things around in here as expected and anticipated in there for you. So that's exactly what you're having in here onto the side. I think I've gone ahead to break everything down for you. And what haven't I shown you? The stats of the game. Let me look for them here before I really get into your comments in the live chat. Now, that stats were as follows. Arsenal had that... Oh, shit. Stupid. Not this. Not this. Sorry about that. We want to get real. We want to get real and see how Arsenal fared into this beautiful game of football with their beautiful stats against West Ham in there for you that most of you haven't obviously gone ahead to witness. But they fought hard. They put up a wonderful fight that is West Ham. And for West Ham, they're going to get relegated. That is it. They cannot survive this relegation. You know, they cannot survive because tomorrow, Leeds is going to be hosted by Aston Villa. Sorry, by Tottenham Hotspur. And Tottenham Hotspur knows it well that if they win their game tomorrow, they've gone ahead to really put themselves 4 points ahead of West Ham. That means they'll only need to win one more game to really stay in the league. And I know Decisive, who went ahead and collected a win at Aston Villa, will put in a very huge shift and see to it that he really gets those moments done and dusted in here. So that's exactly what is happening down at the London Stadium, and Arsenal's gone ahead to obviously beat the side of West Ham, and what a way to send them back to what we call the relegation zone. So that is it, and these stats, where are they? I want to really bring you stats before I get into your comments, because many of you have gone ahead to flock into the comment section and you've gone ahead to really put in a very huge shift. Very many people have gone ahead to react to this wonderful win over Arsenal, and it's what champions do, right? Champions do this. These are champions acts, I tell you, because if you cannot do this, there is no way you're obviously going to be a champion into the league. So that is exactly what you're really having in here, and Arsenal have cruised back to the top, and there are some good points ahead of a team known as Manchester City. What a game. What a game. What a game that came in through, and what a showcase by the club of Arsenal. And this is why I told you that Martinelli has to be sold. When you look at that goal that Trossard scores, there is no way you tell me that Martinelli does, because it's very hard to find Martinelli in that particular position. But the way the manager told Leandro Trossard to obviously narrow the pitch, you get to see to it that he plays in the midfield and was like, let's pack the midfield with Odegaard, Kai Havertz, Trossard, Declan Rice, and very many others. You know, let's have numbers in the midfield. And because Martin Odegaard is good at holding the ball, Trossard is good too to that, and even Kai Havertz is good too at that, he was like, we will get that one chance, and I tell you, we will obviously open them up. And indeed, it was Martin Odegaard, Leandro Trossard, and Declan Rice linking up to see that all goes on always as planned. Now, Stefan says, thanks for the updates, all right. Patrick Ekering says, Arsenal, in there. Mark Bwambale, I'm the 50th person to like you. Thanks. Guys, we are having only 43 likes, and we're having close to 150 people watching in through. Let's see close to 200 likes matching this video. Smash the like button, guys, and this video will go viral. Ntairo says, greetings. We are taking EPL title this season. I told you. Hero is telling me that West Ham was robbed. Hero, no way. It was a foul on the goalkeeper. Let's all admit. Hero, please. I know you support City. This is painful, but let's admit. City has walked away with decisions that are really uncalled for in many of the games. You understand? Like, for example, when Arsenal was playing against Man City, because this is a City fan, I need to show her what robbing is. This is not robbery, because it was exposed to VAR, and VAR was like, we won't make this decision. Though I've got to hate to say that it's really a clear and obvious foul on the goalkeeper. Let's call Let's call the goalkeeper. Let's call the referee onto the side monitor to obviously come and really do the needful. And indeed, the referee was shown all angles. And after he was shown all angles, indeed, you know what went ahead to happen. You understand? And the referee went ahead to say no penalty. Sorry, no goal. And they brought it back. But look at this. This was a clear and obvious foul. And Kai Havertz, hear me out. Kusanov was the last man, and he brought down Kai Havertz like that. You get? It was supposed to be a red card for Kusanov, right? And a free kick to the club of Arsenal. And the game was still at 1-1, 53 minutes, as you see there on the screen. So, Hero, what's that? This is what they call robbing. You know? This is robbing, but this is not robbery. Let's all admit. To me, this is not robbery, I tell you, because the goalkeeper was obviously put and is the most protected player on the field of play, especially when he's in that 18 box area. He's protected to the max. Now, look, they are pulling this jersey here. And by the way, there are two players pulling. This was pulling and was really putting gravity to this hand, not obviously meet the ball. And you see, he was in the vicinity, flying to obviously get hold of that ball. And they really put a lot of pressure onto him, and he couldn't obviously do the needful. Now, the other foul is here. See, even the back of his shirt was being pulled. You see the hand. This guy went ahead, obviously, to hold the hand of the referee. Now, is that robbery really? Hero, please. It's not robbery. They are not robbed. They are not robbed. VAR came to the rescue of Arsenal because Arsenal has really walked away with unjust decisions, as I shown you when Arsenal was playing your team again, your team known as Man City. Misa says it's nearly there, bro. Yeah, that is it. 2 games to go, and it's really one of those moments that you think Arsenal obviously gonna tear Burnley badly. Clement, congratulations to Arsenal. Mikel Arteta's first half substitution failed to have the desired impact. West Ham player made contact, hand on David Raya neck before the ball. By the way, there are 2 fouls. You know, there was the front foul and the back foul. That is it. Then I'm having Koroma, Rokani. This league is ours. I told you at the beginning of the season that Arsenal are my favorites to win the league. Then the game was very difficult. That is, Samuel says so. I do have Alien Koroma. I'm watching you from Turkey. Thank you. Okello Francis. Arsenal up. Arsenal the magician. All right. Then we do have Michael Francis. Hey, bro Rokani. How are you today? This is Michael Francis watching you from Kolambiro, Kasana, Chisasi. And thanks for the preview that you always give us. Thanks so much. All right. Thank you, Michael, for watching it through from Kolambiro. Lucky D says, hello, Rokani. How is your homeland? Thanks for the live streaming. Following you all along from Doha. That is it. Guys, you can as well buy super chats and support this channel, guys. Buy super chats and really support the channel and smash the like button close to 100 times. Mubarak says, big up, brother. Congratulations to Arsenal fans. But when Arteta will stop making mistakes? Zubimendi, the midfield, rise to the right back. That was a very big mistake that he made. I told you, at first, he had to go all in for a player called Mosquera. You know, play as the right back and let the double pivot stay as it was. And that game got out of control of Arsenal when Zubimendi was brought on, because Zubi, his season is over. Let's all admit. The lad is naked. I don't know why. You understand? Michael Francis, thanks, Mr. Rokani. That's why I like this channel instead of, all right. But you and, okay, thank you very much. Lucky the Arsenal are the champions of 2025, 2026, and even have high chance of winning the Champions League. Obviously, Arsenal have a high chance of winning the Champions League. That is it. Dev says, good evening, Rokani. You're right. Arteta made a mistake by switching right to the right back. That was a very big mistake. Aiko Bua Philemon, he says, good evening, bro. David Raya deserves big respect. 18 clean sheets from him. Obviously, that is really huge and big in there for you. This is Joseph Kintu, Arsenal Jew. Mubarak says, RD for me, man of the match is Raya, and he deserves followers. All right. I'm obviously going to be coming up with what we call the player ratings, and I'm going to be shooting that video immediately after this live stream and be uploading it here for you. Then Home Designs Consultants. Hey, bro, Rokani, we love you from Kawempe, Uganda. Thank you. Otuda Paul, Rokani, well done. Please approve my WhatsApp request. Okay, let me go ahead and approve it. Tino Mujuni, Medson, Raya, man of the match. All right, coming up with that video later. Then I'm having Benny Abang. That's the importance of having a large squad. We need to win season. We need to win this season EPL so that the luck comes back and we make it a routine the City has been doing. By the way, if Arsenal wins the league this time round, of which I know they are going to be winning it, they are going to be attracting very many players, I tell you. And they will come in through. And next season, they'll be the favorites too. And if Man United goes ahead to make purchases that I think will obviously be made, I think Man United will be second favorites. City third favorites. And fourth favorites for me will be Liverpool. That is it. I've obviously gone ahead to make it here. But let's wait and see what happens in the due course of these transfer windows. But everyone who thinks that Arsenal is not going to walk away with this, you are joking. You are joking, you know. Burnley and Crystal Palace, I tell you, the game of Burnley, you'll see Arsenal score very many goals. They might even score 6 past Burnley because Burnley is fighting for nothing and they've gone ahead to obviously get relegated. Do you understand? After them getting relegated, no way things will pan out to their favor. You know, they'll come playing for respect, but Arsenal will come in through playing for what we call getting the job done. You know, so it's really going to be another huge game for you. Rokani, any update about the injury of Benjamin White? Not yet, but we will wait and see. But all I want to let you know is that Julian Timber is back on the grass, and with Arsenal resting for 7 days, right, without playing football, Arsenal might be having some good news over the weekend. You know, over the weekend, Arsenal might get in some good news because Arsenal is going to be playing on Monday, 18th, meaning that they are resting for 8 days. You get? Arsenal is resting for 8 days, right? So those 8 days, I think we'll see very many players of Arsenal return, especially Timber as the right back, because he's needed to be in the final. That is it. If Arsenal is to put out a very good performance against a team known as PSG, they need Timber back. They need Mikel Merino back. They need to be having a fully fit squad to go there. If you're having Merino, Rice, Zubimendi, Skelly, Nogard, Odegaard, Kai Havertz, midfield, done. Ben White right back and Julian Timber, big deal for Arsenal into this moment. So, as it stands right now, Arsenal might have Merino welcomed back either in the game of Burnley or the game of Crystal Palace. And also a player called Timber will be on his way back. But for Ben White, I tell you, in the game of Burnley, I think even if they really put there Mosquera, he'll do the job. Let's all admit, Mosquera will do the job and it will be a perfect job done by him in there. Let them see reply very well. All right. Then Mukwana Charles. It was fantastic. I'm listening from Budaka. All right. That is Eastern Uganda. Thank you for obviously listening from that side. Kiza Maximi. Zubimendi and Gyökeres is their first season. Yeah. For Zubimendi, he's naked because he doesn't know what's required to be fit in the Premier League. And I think this season, he really played the first 3 quarters of the season very well. He was really cruising, but it reached an extent when he's no longer cruising. You get? He was nowhere near cruising. I'm talking about Leandro Trossard. So, if he was nowhere near cruising, I tell you, you just have to give him respect for what he went ahead to do as a player, because this is his first season. If he put out such performances as a player, just give him the benefit of doubt that next season, if he goes to the World Cup, I know he won't be getting in lots of minutes because I think they'll do a Rodri a lot in that midfield in there for you. I think he'll be playing off the bench. That will help him recharge his batteries for the season. And Arsenal would have gone ahead, obviously, sign another midfielder, meaning that he'll know it really has to be serious business in there for you between Arsenal and him. So that is all about Martin Zubimendi. But for Victor Gyökeres, guys, for him to come in through and obviously score a 22 goals this season for Arsenal, that is really great for Gyökeres. You know, people don't want to come and appreciate. And I've always told people that there is something that is being lied about the league, that you need a striker to get you 20 goals of the Premier League goal or the Premier League season to win the league. I don't really believe in that, because I've seen Chelsea do it without having scored very many goals like that, without having a striker, Didier Drogba, scoring 20 when he's having 14, 15 goals, And what has gone ahead to help teams like those win, it's obviously putting out a lot. It's obviously putting out a lot of different players to come in through and really score goals. Now, this guy has 14 goals in the Premier League. With 2 games to go, we don't know whether he can obviously clinch that, but we've seen Arsenal having Martinelli score, 15, 16 goals in the Premier League season, Odegaard scoring 15, But what was the problem? The problem was the squad. Even if you have a striker who scores 30 goals a season in the Premier League, and you don't have a squad that can obviously drive you through those tough moments, because, trust me, every club gets what we call trying moments. You get? Every club gets what we call trying moments. And through those trying moments, that's when we obviously get to understand who is who in this particular game of football. So, right now as we speak, a club known as Arsenal has been having injuries that are really, 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 really very bad, and they've gone ahead to fight hard to see to it that they've gone ahead to really get where they are right now. So let's give them kudos and let's give them their flowers because of what they've gone ahead to do. But I want to let you know, it's not all about having a striker who scores 20 goals, because when you look at the Premier League, right now, guess who is the top scorer? It's Erling Haaland. He's having 26 goals. Why isn't it that City is on top of the league? You understand? The reason is City has scored more goals than Arsenal, but Arsenal has more points than City. Do you know why? Arsenal has conceded less goals than a team known as Man City, Arsenal has conceded 26 goals. City has conceded 6, and they still have a game in hand. And that game in hand might see City concede 1 or 2 because they're going to be playing against Bournemouth, on Tuesday. So I don't want to hear anyone come up and obviously putting out such falsehood again that for a team to win a league, they need to be having a 20-goal Premier League striker. Now, Erling Haaland is having 26. Igor Thiago for Brentford is having 22. Anthony Semenyo for Man City is having 15. Now, top 3 is City players with a total of 41 goals. Right? So, why isn't it that City is on top of the league? Why is it that Arsenal, that has a striker who has gone ahead to score 14 goals, is on top of the Premier League table? You get? So, it's all about defending fast, like the game of West Ham today. You saw Arsenal defend very well, and if it was not their defense, because there are moments that it is the defense that really kept them in the game, and the goalkeeper David Raya, you get? City, Donnarumma also has gone ahead to do his job, but they are conceding. You understand? They are conceding. So the first way to find yourself in a position of really getting to where you want to be is not seeing your team concede goals, and make sure that you obviously get players that can obviously decide. And this is where I tell Arsenal that all they have to do is they need to get in a midfielder and get in another wide forward who can obviously take off players and really create moments of brilliancy from nowhere. 62 likes, 38 more to clock 100. And in 6 minutes, we'll be obviously calling it off. So please, by the time I put this video to the end, I want to see 100 likes on this video, right? So smash the like button in there. I'm having Kelly says, which kind of injury did Ben White suffer from? I cannot tell. But very soon, I think by tomorrow morning, we will be giving an update about the guy's injury. Cherotich Ivan, good job for Arsenal, all right. Then this is Gilbert says, that was difficult game for Arsenal to win. We thank the boys to do that for the team. Obviously, they did it for the team and they really fought hard. Kiza, Maxine, Rokani, talk about Crystal Palace and Arsenal about 10 millions when Arsenal wins the EPL. Arsenal, when they win the EPL, they're obviously going to be the people making the most amount of money, right? Being paid by the Premier League, no doubt about it. And they stand a very huge chance as the club of Arsenal to obviously make huge monies again in what we call the Champions League offer, Champions League reward, because they might be rewarded close to 130 million pounds in the Champions League alone. And in the Premier League, they might obviously get like 150 million pounds or 160. When you add on to the ticket sales for the club of Arsenal, obviously they'll be getting in huge monies in there for you. So Arsenal is Arsenaling and they're really doing their best. And for Leandro Trossard, by the way, before we obviously call it quits from this video, this is his first goal of 2026 in the Premier League. That is it. That is Leandro Trossard's first goal in the Premier League in 2026. But it was worth it. It was worth the wait. The Englishman has a saying that the juice was worth the squeeze. All the wait was worth it for the club of Arsenal, because that goal came in through when everyone was asking, Arsenal, if they are to win, where are they going to be getting their goal from? And all indicators have been showing this guy. The game of Fulham, you know what he does. Creates an assist for the third Arsenal goal. Game of Atletico Madrid, where Bukayo Saka scores. He is responsible for pulling the trigger, the goalkeeper, who ricocheted the ball back to the vicinity of Saka, and Saka went ahead to put that ball in the back of the net. Today, he has been the game winner. Now, authoritatively, in these last games, Leandro Trossard is holding the Arsenal team on his back to deliver them to the lost glory. You understand? And in the Champions League, he also has one goal. So this season has not been great for him, but as we went into the final bend of the season, he's looking very, very good. I'm talking about Leandro Trossard. He's putting out performances that are really good, and he is that main man right now. We pray to it that he continues that form in the coming games as Leandro Trossard. I just love whatever he puts out on the field of play. He's a genius, and whatever happens, he's one of those players that is supposed to stay. And on him and Martinelli, who would you keep at the club of Arsenal? Let me pause this question before you obviously call it quits. Let me put this poll. Let me put this poll and see what you guys have to say. Start the poll. Who should stay at Arsenal? Is it Martinelli or what's his name? Trossard? Guys, get into the live chat and really vote. You know, who should stay at the club of Arsenal and who should be sold? You know, who should stay? Tell me, who should stay at the club of Arsenal? Is it Martinelli or Leandro Trossard? Guys, let's vote before we obviously come to the end of this video. We are left with 36 likes to clock 100 likes in there for you. So please go ahead and do the needful. We are having Arteta was going to make us lose it again. Yeah. Very bad decision made by him. Very bad decision made by Mikel Arteta for that particular encounter. We are having only 2 minutes to vote. That is it. We are having only 2 minutes to vote. I want you guys to let me know, who should Arsenal have at the club, who should stay? Is it Trossard or Gabriel Martinelli? Go ahead and really vote. The countdown is on. 3 minutes left, and I'll be obviously ending that live chat, that live poll, and see what your thoughts are, you guys. But indeed, it's really one of those moments where we are gonna be seeing a lot of people coming in and really putting in their thoughts. Rokani, I am meaning about as a deal with Crystal Palace and Arsenal. Obviously, they are where we call add-ons. You get add-on clauses, especially if Arsenal wins the Premier League, Crystal Palace has to bag in some money. You get? If Arsenal win the Champions League, Crystal Palace will bag in some money from Arsenal. You understand? So those clauses are always included in contracts when these players are being sold, because they know when they're achieved, obviously the team makes in money. So Crystal Palace has to receive some money when Arsenal wins the league from Arsenal, because they would have gone ahead to trigger that clause as agreed upon on the contract that was made by them in there for you. So guys, continue to vote. Vote please. Vote please. And I'm really going to be ending in 1 minute from now, and we will be calling it quits from here. I think we've had a jazz of close to how many? We've had a jazz of close to 1 hour, and I think it has been great talking to you. And I think it's high time I called it off, and we'll talk to you later on. I'm going to watch the El Clasico, Real Madrid versus Barcelona. The game is on. It was a tough game for the Gunners, but thanks for the late goal, right? That is Shola coming in through, talking about this big game of football and this big encounter. Leandro Trossard, he deserves his flowers. Give him his flowers. David Raya, a man who kept Arsenal in the game close to 3 times this season. Big win for the club of Arsenal, and there is no way you look ahead of anything like Leandro Trossard performance and a David Raya, unless otherwise you are a hater. But if at all you're a person who is a footballing person with a footballing mind, you have to give this guy his flowers, because indeed he has done this particular. That is it. So that is it. Leandro Trossard Masterclass has gone ahead to obviously lead Arsenal to what we call the final. Has gone ahead to obviously give Arsenal another lead again that is really comfortable. They are 2 points ahead of City, and I tell you what, no way Arsenal is dropping this. Many called Arsenal out, and guess who stood with Arsenal? It was me. It was me. I'm one of the few who went ahead to stick with Arsenal, and I was like, there is no way they are losing the trophy. Those are just downs, that came in through. They went south a little bit, but you expect it from a team like Arsenal that haven't been at this stage for a very, very long time. Now, let me end this. Let me end the poll and see how you guys have gone ahead to vote. 62 of you are like, Trossard should stay, and 38% of you are saying Martinelli should stay. I tell you, it should be Leandro Trossard. Guys, from the team at Rokani Media, we out. And Olumuyiwa says